guys, gardening and prepping. My name is Teresa. I would like to welcome you each into the kitchen this afternoon, where I am finally getting around to a video that was requested a while back. And if I remember right, Jenny Mack was interested in it. And if I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section below. Today I'm making, now me and Junior are not sick, I'm making this video so y'all know how to make it. It is a very delicious cough syrup. Now, it's also good for sore throats, sinus infections, and colds. And I'll tell you towards the end the herbs that you can add to boost it even more for medicinal purposes. This is not only medicinal, yes, it's delicious. I'm not going to lie. It's addictive. You have to watch yourself. Now, you can also cook with it as well. So, yeah, I love this cough syrup, and I know for a fact it works for sore throat and so on, because I had severe laryngitis a long time ago, and well, it got rid of that. It also helped with the bronchitis, the double bronchitis that I had, which was right there on the verge of pneumonia. It helped with that as well. With this being said, let's get busy having some fun. It is a simple, very effective cough syrup, sore throat syrup. It's also it's strong on natural antibiotics due to the onions and the garlic, and of course the honey, antiviral and antifungal as well. And once it's done being made, it stores in your fridge. And I'm saving my onion peels to go into future batches of bone stock. Okay, got my onions. I'm going to do 4. I might do more. Who knows? I got a big pile of my elephant garlic here. And now, since this is going to be heated for a long time, I usually do not use... Who had onions? A rough one. It's been in storage for a while. I usually do not use local honey when I'm heating it up, because a lot of times it can diminish its strength. But this is still fairly local. This comes from Kentucky. I was trying to heat it up because it's sugared. It started trying to crystallize on me, and well, the label come off. Alright, now usually what I use is the little bitty dinky crock pots. They call them dip crock pots. I'd be ashamed to put a crock pot out like that for dip, but that's the one I usually use. This is the smallest one that I have at the moment. I am so not going to fill this up. So, let's get started on the onions. Now, when you take a dosage of this cough syrup, you put the tablespoon in. Of course, any time you get a dosage out, use a new spoon. Don't double dip on this one. You want the onions, sliced. That way, when you go to take a dose, you eat the onions and the garlic as well. And I'm not going to lie, this is delicious. I'm not worried about breaking them up too much because they'll break up as they cook. That onion is strong. It's been in storage. The stronger the onion is on you, the longer it has been in storage. Now this is my elephant garlic. It's looking a little rough. Just if yours is looking rough, just trim it up some. And I like to slice mine. I'll cut this one in half. This is not a hard cough syrup to make, and you should have these ingredients in your pantry to begin with. Now, if your garlic is starting to sprout, plant it. Don't try to use it in the cough syrup. Plant that garlic. And yes, I layer them. Whew. That onion was something else. I just take off any bruise spots or any rough looking spots because the garlic's gotten cold. And plus it's ready. It's beyond ready to be planted. I'm running so late this year. Now, if you have a texture problem, I guess you could mince it up. I don't mince mine up because I like the wonderful, whatever biteful I get with the dosage. Use as much garlic and onions as you want and make a, if you want to use a bigger crock pot and make a huge batch, you can. Now you can also freeze it as well. But you want to keep at least one jar in your fridge to use when needed. And I'm not worried about my honey being partially crystallized because it's going to melt and go back to liquid once it heats up. But usually I save local honey for making oxymels, for using in tea. Now you can slice your onions as thin or as thick as you want to. It's all up to you. And I'm also known to, as they slowly cook and become translucent, I might add more onions and garlic to the pot. You can do that. Alright, that's 2. And I'm using yellow onions. Don't use a sweet onion. Don't use a white onion. Your yellow onions are your strongest, and don't use a red onion. You want the good strength of the yellow onion. Like I said, any bad looking spots, any bruising, cut that off your garlic. This one had started to think about growing. Oh, it smells so good. Everybody should be growing elephant garlic. It's wonderful. Get more bang for your buck. And you don't really have to harvest them every year. You can leave them growing in the ground. They'll just die back and pop back up in the fall. You can go out and harvest when you need garlic, which will be happening here because I'll have a place to grow these and I don't have to worry about harvesting them all, so I can grow my sweet potatoes. I'm going to add one more big clove of elephant garlic. Like I said, just trim any bad looking spots off of them. There we go, got that one. Oh, it smells so good. Now, my hands might not smell really good. It all depends on the person. But I love making this cough syrup because I know it's good. People will take it, and it works. It's not horrible. And it does work. Extremely strong medicinal. Okay, you're going to go in there, like it or not. Okay, now we're going to try to get this honey out of the jug. I'm going to have to go get my chopstick. I'll be right back. Okay, now what you're going to want to do is cover the onions and the garlic. Of course, now it helps when it's more liquid, so it'll go down to the bottom. But you use what you have. slowly but surely. And all of this will melt. I can't believe it crystallized so fast. And no, I do not measure the honey, because usually I use my honey's liquefied. So all I do is cover. I know I'm going to probably have to come back and add some more as this heats up and melts down. Do not throw your honey away. If it crystallizes, it's perfectly still fine. Nothing wrong with it. Okay. Now, we want to cook this slow and low. So I'm going to plug it in. And I'm going to cut it on low. Now, if it ends up, you do not want your honey bubbling at all. You want it just to be hot, but not bubbling. If it starts to bubble, I'm going to turn it on to keep warm, which I'll probably end up having to do after a while. Now, this mixture is kind of one of those, you set it, forget it, walk away. Every once in a while, you'll want to check it, stir it real good, make sure everything's good and coated and cooking well. Now, here's where we get into even more medicinal. Now, it will change the flavor quite a bit, but if you want to boost the medicinal benefits of this cough syrup, to where you're taking it not only for sore throat, coughing, and any kind of infection, antiviral, antibiotic, and so on. When the onions and garlic just start to become translucent in the honey, you can add dried mullein. Just make sure that it does not have any hard stems in it. You can add the mullein in here. You can also boost the cough syrup benefits of it with horehound. Just make sure there's no hard stems, because you don't want to bite into a hard stem. It's not fun. You wanted to, you could add elderberries. Yes, leave the elderberries in it. It's not going to kill you. You could also, if you wanted to, you could add usnea. Yes, you can eat the usnea. It's not going to kill you. There's quite a few others if you wanted to add to this. But just remember, it's going to, like, horehound is a bitters. So it might make it a little less sweet. I'm not adding anything else to this. For my purpose, I'm just using the honey, the onion, and the garlic. You can also add sliced lemons or sliced oranges to it as well. But I would chop them up because I would leave that in the mixture. Yes, you can eat the pith. It's not going to kill you. People got to quit being scared of everything and your shadow. Study, learn. Don't listen to everything that's told to you on the internet. Alright, my seriousness is over. I will bring you back because I'm just making the honey, the onion, and the garlic. I'm not adding anything extra. You can if you want to. You could use a bigger crock pot and make a bigger batch if you wanted to. Like I said, if you have a big family, you might want to keep a couple of quart jars in your fridge. You can use it, just take a tablespoon per adult, also children. A tablespoon's not going to hurt them. It depends on the person, 4 to 6 hours. If you start feeling it coming back, another dose. And it works fast, y'all. Now, if you make bigger batch, just know you need more honey, more onions, more garlic, and whatever you're going to add to it. And make sure you have to have enough honey to cover it all. That's why once this gets heated up, I'm going to check on it, see what the honey level is, and there's a good chance I'm going to have to add some more honey. Alright, I'll be back in a couple of hours or so. And like I said, every once in a while, check on it. Get you a saucer and a spoon so you can stir it. And use the saucer because you can always scrape what's on the spoon back into the crock pot. You can use the smallest crock pot. You can use this size crock pot or a bigger crock pot. Depends on how much you want to make. See y'all after a while. Okay, it's time to finish up this cough syrup. I am kinda, sorta over being mad, but I'm not going to let them get me down because I have teachings to do, and I'm going to continue doing what I do best, and that's teaching. So, let's get this cough syrup finished up, y'all. Alright, now what you want to do is make sure that your onions and your garlic are completely translucent or transparent. For those who don't know what translucent is, you're going to want either pint jars or quart jars. It depends on how much a batch that you make. And you want to do it while it's still slightly warm. I've let it cool down some. That way it pours better. And no, I do not strain it. I leave the onions and the garlic pieces in because when I take my dosage, which is a tablespoon, if I happen to get some in the spoonful, I eat them. Now be very careful when doing that. This is what your onions and garlic should look like. You see how translucent and thoroughly cooked they are because you want it all in your honey. That honey is infused. Uh-oh, and I made a big old mess. Go figure. You try not to waste any of it. Now about 3/4 of the way being cooked, transparent, translucent, you want to take the lid off of your little crock pot so any water can evaporate out. Yes, it'll slow the process down a little bit, but you want to get the water out. Oh, I wish y'all could smell this. It smells absolutely delightful. But of course, I absolutely love it. And let me tell you, it works. It works very well. Not only is it antibiotic, it's antibacterial, anti-microbial. There'll be more information in the description box below the video. While it's still warm, clean up your mess. It'll be easier to clean your mess up. And there I have a full quart jar. And I try to keep the onions and garlic under the honey. Now, as this cools, it's going to thicken up, so do not worry. It's not going to be thick like a paste, but it will thicken up as it cools. I will take a dose, but I'm not sick, but I have it just in case. Now, like I said, there is more information in the description box below the video. And natural, all three of them. The honey, the onions, the garlic, all natural antibiotics. All natural antimicrobial, antiviral, a couple of them are antifungal. Good as cough syrup for coughing and sore throats. Also good for lung congestion, sinuses. I have used this so many times. Now, like I said, about 3/4 of the way through cooking. Uh, or when your onions and garlic just start to get translucent, if you want to, you could add some mullein, dried mullein to it. You could use dried, if you wanted to, dried pearly everlasting, dried usnea, uh, dried lemon peels. Reason why I'm saying dry, because you do not want to introduce any water into this mix. Now, when using dried herbs, make sure you have no hard stems in there, because you really don't want to have to spit out hard stems. Use just the dried leaves. Or, like I do, I leave this alone. It is perfectly fine like it is. It is strong and it works very well. Now, personally, I absolutely love the flavor, and I have to be careful because it can be a treat for me to take it. Now, another thing, if you're notorious like I am, when something's medicinal and very good, hint, hint, elderberry syrup, especially my elderberry syrup, you tend to want to take more. I mean, it's not going to hurt you if you take more, but yes, this can be cooked with, used in cooking or salad dressing. Now, if you're cooking with it, this is the kind of sauce that you would serve the meat with, or towards the very end, put a little on the chicken breast, the pork loin. It's good on many things. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna get the lid on it. And yes, it's warm, so it might seal itself. Of course, I know what this is. I've been making this for so many years, it's not funny. Right on the top of your lid, what it is. Uh, you can call it onion, garlic, honey cough syrup. Cough syrup. As long as you remember what's in it, label it that way. Me, I know what it is. There's not much that I make looks like this, but read in the description box below. I have more information. Now, you want to use raw honey. Don't use pasteurized honey. Don't use any foreign honey. You could, if you wanted to, use local honey, but you're going to end up cooking the honey. So I don't use local honey for this. Now, I use close to me honey. The honey that I used come from Kentucky. I'm in Northeast Mississippi. That's close. But you want to make sure that it's not pasteurized, that it's raw. But it does not have to be local honey, because you're going to be cooking a lot of the good local honey benefits out of it. But simple, easy, I'm not going to lie, delicious, at least to me it is. And anybody that I've made it for loves it. Dosage, 1 tablespoon. Now, if you're really bad sick, you could do 2 if you wanted to. Now, if you're a really skinny person, a tablespoon will be plenty. If you want 2, go for it. It's not going to hurt you. There's nothing in here that'll hurt you unless you're allergic to it. And if you're allergic to it, don't use it. That's on you. You could also take a tablespoon of this if you wanted to, and add it to a cup of hot tea. Mix it in. Have you a nice hot tea with it. But this I'm going to put in the fridge. Now, if you make a big batch, if you have a big family and y'all all getting sick all the time, you can make a big batch of it. Put a big, like a quart jar, or you can put all of it in the fridge. But you can also container this up and freeze it. Freezes well. Simple, easy, homemade. You can do it. You can heal yourself. Sore throat and sickness, you ain't got to go to the doctor. Heal yourself. And also, this is high in vitamin C as well. Like I said, read the description box below. A lot of information in there. I hope this video encourages you to start making your own cough syrup, because this also works very well for laryngitis as well. Simple, easy. You can do it. Just believe in yourself. And remember, yellow onions, not red, not white, not sweet. You want the kick of a good, fiery yellow onion. They're stronger and medicinal benefits than the other ones. Yeah, I know they all in the same family, but each one's stronger. Everyone, continue to stock up your pantries with foods that will sustain and nourish you and heal you. Honey, onions, and garlic should be in every single household. Unless you're allergic to it, I understand that. But you should keep this honey, onions, and garlic in your pantry, in your kitchen. You never know when you might need them. Continue to stock up medicinals that will heal you. Protection of all kinds, and above all else, the bare essentials to survive on. Everyone, stay safe and sound. Please stay warm in this brutal cold. Pray for people who are homeless, because this is brutal. This cold is dangerous. It's life-threatening. Pray for all those who are homeless, especially our vets. Everyone, may you each be blessed. Hoot hoot. Mwah. Love y'all, and I'll see you soon.